Hello everyone. We have a game with the black pieces against MMG 86, rated 1329. We're going to try to get a Pirc Defense on the board as it's our speed run. Our fourth topic for our speed run along with the Rui Lopez. So we attack the pawn and yet again an early e5. So let's just take it off the board, and he lost his central pawn presence. So we have equal central space. He takes with the knight. I'll challenge the knight immediately, see what he does. He takes. Okay. I'll take with the bishop. Maybe I can put it on c6 since my knight no longer needs that square. He develops a bishop. Aims here, but there's no knight. So there's no coordination for fried liver. It's a little weird. So I'm going to move the same piece twice because it comes with a threat. Now you're going to say, well, he wants the castle anyway, but he still has to spend a turn, and it opens my queen, which is what I want as well because the d file is open for me, so I don't want to block my queen. Okay, so instead of going 2, which is a thing, he can pin it, he can attack it. Let's go 1, which is the color of his bishop. He cannot attack it immediately with a pawn, and we're more solid. So he pins it anyway. Sacks by the bishop, they don't work. Right now, anyway. So we need to develop our bishop. I'm thinking put it here. Yes, it blocks the queen temporarily. Huh. So if we did throw in a move like this to put the queen in front, he'll probably just protect it. We have these really weird idea of attacking it because of our bishop. He goes back, we threaten to win it, he makes space or something. But then bishop c5. So that looks way more active than just bishop d6. Okay, let's get the queen out for free. We can always swing it over to the king side because he doesn't have the knight. And then a bishop d6 hurts a lot. So he does do this. Now we can again just go bishop d6 and swing it over. And it looks like just a lot of pressure. But there's this really cool b5 idea to start with, which provides an additional fianchetto. It does weaken the pawns because you don't have c5 in, but if we immediately start here, he can go here. So we don't want that. Should we really do this? Is there a point? I mean, it's probably too much. Bishop d6 looks perfectly reasonable. So let's develop and just aim at his king because I feel like we have a lot of firepower. So he makes a pawn move, doesn't develop a piece, takes the square away from his knight, so he's going to have to block his bishop at some point. And now we're aiming at the king. I'm sure we can coordinate with these 4 pieces somehow. So let's do it. Since he has nothing here, no minor pieces on any of these 4, that's way too much. So check, he takes, we go here, he goes back, we hop in. I mean, we don't need to sack for any of that. We can just go here. Because we can just put the knight in at any time. Whenever he pushes, the light diagonal opens up. We can coordinate for a different checkmate. His pieces are just not doing anything. So he goes there. Okay, so h5. What else do I have? I have... Okay, he's gonna put this here. I don't see the follow up here. Okay, let's continue the attack with h5. Since if you put your knight here, he can take with the queen. Now he can't take with the queen. He can only take with the pawn, which would lead to good lines for me. So my next idea is knight g4. So he blocks his bishop in order to try to get a piece over. Wait, is this too slow? Because now he doesn't have bishop e3. Although I can't go here anyway. But something suspicious. Hold on. If I follow with my move, he can't attack my queen because I'm threatening stuff. He kind of has to take my knight or try to... Okay, he does do that, but that hangs this with check. With checkmate should follow after that. So this should end the game. Nice attack by black. It's only 13 moves. We haven't been playing very long at all. And now I think queen here threatens checkmate in 1 by the bishop and the knight support. So if he takes the knight, it's still checkmate. So how does he stop it? Oh wait, no, there's a knight here, but we could take that first, hitting the queen, followed by the mate, so it's still mate. So here, we can also just start with taking the knight. If queen takes, because the rooks aren't connected, his rook hangs. If the pawn takes, that's mate, so that wins. I mean, I guess that's clean enough. So queen g3 is a move, but let's go here because even if he takes and we take, his king can't move, so he still gets mated. So this is terrible. Oh my god. That's what happens when you don't connect your rooks. And you could say, yeah, well, your rooks aren't connected, but guess what? I'm not the one who got mated. He got mated in 16 moves by black. See? So the whole black should play for a draw, white should push for a win. That's at the elite level, top 10. Your guys aren't top 10, just play for the win. So we get a pretty short game. We have one mistake. Let's see what it is. So we try to get the Pirc, but he plays the early e5. We take, he takes. We challenge the knight by developing a piece in center. He takes, force move. Okay, improving a piece for free and improving the queen. And center. Okay, center, prophylaxis, and development. Okay, improving a piece for free. I just want to point out the engine says the best move is h5 here. This early, before the bishops developed, before the queens developed. And that just seems... And the point I'm assuming is to run it up here and take advantage of the light. But that's just crazy so early. So we just develop a piece. And now computer says you can immediately go for this stuff. Because you're hitting here. But you probably have to follow that up accurately. I really like developing first. So for example, let's just look at a line. If we go down here, we're hitting this pawn. Let's assume he defends it and doesn't blunder. Now they're saying bishop here is the only thing for advantage. Everything else is equal. So can he block with the bishop though? But then we take the bishop. And when he takes... Oh, we take this pawn. I forgot about this pawn. It's a weird line. I'm not a fan of lines like that. If they work though. So here, oh, now they changed it to queen h4, which is the move that I said I was going to make. I just wanted him to waste a turn, kicking me first. So we develop and aim at the king. And then it says blunder. goes from black is better to -4. -4 by sacking this bishop. And also -4 by queen h4. So if we sack the bishop, which I looked at, oh yeah, that's mate. You take here, he runs, then you win the queen. Yeah, so that forcing works. I said you don't even have to sack the bishop though, you can just immediately go, which is the case too. It does allow him this extra move h6, and this is where the computer says I made my mistake. Because I lost some of my advantage, instead of h5, which is on the list, they're saying much better, is g5. Instead, just breaking down this pawn, getting the knight there, and access to the queen on the h2 square. But I was going to do that anyway. So this takes one turn, this takes one turn. That's 3 turns. My plan was going to take 2 turns. So why is his plan better than my plan? If you go h5, well, at first it said knight d2, and then you hop the knight in, but he doesn't take. Yeah, if he takes, it's what I said. It's -4. It's just as good as the other g4. But if he goes here, they're saying this is protected. He didn't take. And now you have to still follow it up, which is why you bring the rook in. Huh. If you do go well for this, though, you have this, which is somewhat interesting, but not really. Okay. Now if we start with g5, and he also makes that move, and now I have to go g4. In the other line, he played queen e2. Okay, the sack, no, that's just desperate because he is losing. That's not a real move. So if he goes down a similar vein, like queen e7, then we can take this. So I guess knight g4 is super strong if he takes, but if he doesn't take, while black is still better and it's good, g4 is just can rip open, can force the h-file, because once he makes h3, it's a hook. So while it's nice to have the knight here, he's not forced to take. But if you have a pawn here, you can just take him. Okay, so now you're threatening to take and infiltrate with the queen, so he has to do something. How does he stop it though? Yeah, this is just terrible. I mean, I guess you're -8, but you still have to play and like finish him off. But either way, so that's what g4 leads to. Some weird complications. But instead we make a mistake and go for h5 instead of g5. What are you going to do? We're -1.3, and we learned a little bit about the positional difference between g5 and h5. But it's not immediately obvious either, because even if he doesn't take, you have pressure on the dark squares. You can always possibly take on g2. There's really a lot to calculate and look at down all those lines, so it's not easy to do in a 10-minute game. And now we follow up with our plan, -1.4. Everything looks really nice for black. And he has to be very accurate. He has to find the correct defensive moves to not collapse. Instantly it goes to mate in 9, so that's what I mean. You see how hard it is to play. The most natural move, h takes g, is just completely lost. Another natural move, knight in the center, defending the pawn, completely lost because we just take it. So he has to play rook e2 or queen e2 to be worse instead of completely lost. But he doesn't play that, and he develops the knight and hangs mate. So we find a nice mate. We learned a little bit about g5 and h5. So that's good. We could use that knowledge next time. Good luck in your chess. See you in the next one.